Hi, I'm Jesus, and this video is going to be about a potential trade-up system being introduced to PUBG. Recently, a site called Skin Tracker released a blog and some footage of an unfinished trade-up contract feature that was data mined from a test server patch. It appears to be legit. The people involved have a good reputation, they've been an accurate source about these sorts of things before, so there's every reason to trust them. In terms of what they've found, there's a fairly familiar system involved: 10 items in, 1 item out. You can trade for items all the way up to rare at the moment. That's the blue condition. The top 4 tiers aren't available. You can also mix items from different cases, and at the moment at least, trade-ups are going to cost battle points. Now, this is obviously a test feature. We may well see it change in its final form, but I mean, we can tell what's going on at the basic level. It's clearly based on the CSGO model. Not that much of a surprise, since the developer is on record saying he wants to follow the CSGO model, and although it hasn't been introduced yet, I think it's highly likely that it eventually will. It's hard to think of a reason why this wouldn't be released. So, in terms of the impact on PUBG prices, this is a huge deal. Trade-ups play a huge role in shaping the prices across the CSGO economy because they give a use to otherwise unusable items. Take a random CSGO skin, the M249 Spectre from the Chroma 3 collection. Ugly skin, terrible gun, yet its price is almost in lockstep with most of the other blues in this collection, and some of these skins are quite a bit nicer. And the reason for this is that you can use the Spectre to get nicer skins like the Ghost Crusader or the Red Astor through a trade-up contract. Now, the best precedent for what sort of impact we can expect is probably the update in early 2015 to Counter-Strike that made StatTrak weapons able to be traded up. And this caused a huge market shift overnight. If you look at something like the MAC-10 Tata from the Huntsman collection, you can see that its price shot up dramatically. And if you look at one of the outputs like the Atomic Alloy, its factory new price dropped from about $90 to about $60. So it certainly had a non-trivial effect. Also, God help you if you had a StatTrak USPS Orion. This was a skin that was removed from the Huntsman case following the whole debacle with the M4A4 HAL, but it was still available through trade-ups, and since you couldn't do trade-ups with StatTrak skins at the time, was essentially contraband in StatTrak form. Obviously, this update meant that it was suddenly really cheap and really easy to start producing them through trade-ups, which sent its value absolutely plummeting. Understandably, the people who were affected weren't particularly impressed at losing so much money in an instant, but I mean, if I lost that much money that quickly as well, I'd probably be a bit angry too. So, going off this precedent from CSGO, it's reasonable to expect a big increase in the value of a lot of very cheap items, the sort of stuff that people would put into a trade-up. How much exactly, it's hard to say, but we can expect them to go up. And we can also expect a reasonably large decrease in the value of a lot of expensive items, the sort of things that people are trying to get from trade-up contracts, rarer stuff. And also, when it does come out, anticipate a lot of bitching and moaning from people who lose money because of it. That's probably going to happen as well. It is understandable that they'd be upset, don't be too mean to them. Now, as for some slightly more specific things, first of all, this update won't impact the prices of items that can't be traded up for, and it's not clear whether you'll be able to trade up for anything beyond rare items. If that's the case, purple, pink, red and yellow items will all be unaffected by this. Personally, I'd be surprised if we did see these being included, particularly the pinks, the reds and the yellows. Pinks are about as rare as CSGO knives, reds and yellows are even rarer. I'd imagine that the developers probably want to keep those as really rare and exclusive items and not make them particularly easy to obtain. But ultimately, we will have to wait and see. Additionally, when you look at trade-up contracts in CSGO, they're complicated by the way float values work with them, and the way the trade-up contract can favour certain collections over others in some circumstances, and this creates a lot of opportunities for people who understand how this sort of stuff works to exploit this to make a profit. Now, PUBG doesn't have float values, and it's not clear whether their trade-up contracts will favour some collections over others, so this may well result in much simpler price structures within the collections, and as a result, a lot less opportunities to profit from doing trade-ups. I'm expecting that we may well end up finding that in a lot of circumstances the average value of an output is the exact same as the combined value of all the inputs. In the case of PUBG though, There are no float values. It's not clear whether the contract will skew towards some collections over others, so this will make the pricing involved in trade-up contracts much simpler, and in the long run this will probably mean less opportunities to profit from doing trade-ups. There's not the same amount of tricky stuff you can do to make a profit, so I'm expecting that in a lot of cases the average value of an output is going to be worth very close to the combined value of all the inputs. There is a caveat to this though. At this point it looks like trade-up contracts will cost battle points. I brought this up on the CSGO market subreddit to see what people thought about it, and the response was that there will be a surplus of battle points compared to skins. And the guy who said this is right. The average trade-up contract will require around 500 battle points and 10 skins, and just to get one skin from a case you need a minimum of 700 battle points, so that's 7,000 battle points worth of skins altogether in each trade-up contract at least. So battle points won't constrain the number of trade-ups that can be done relative to the number of skins around. What they might do though is create a period of transition over a number of weeks as prices adjust, because there's a speed limit on the rate that people can do trade-ups at. Obviously if you run out of battle points you've got to go off and play some more to get some more, and it, that takes time. Although part of the price shift may occur in advance due to speculative buying and selling in anticipation of the trade-up feature being introduced. It also may have another effect though, because cases are worth money, so if people are going to spend battle points on trade-ups rather than cases, they'll need some sort of incentive that matches a case, battle point for battle point, even if it is a small one, because obviously cases are only worth a little bit. So despite what I said earlier, there may be a small statistical profit in a lot of these contracts just because it provides an incentive to actually do them, that balances out the incentive to just get a case and sell it instead, although ultimately we will have to wait to find out. So all in all, this will definitely have a big impact on the PUBG economy. The details aren't nailed down 100% yet. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but in general you can expect cheaper items to go up in price and more expensive items, the ones you can get from trade-ups at least anyway, to go down in price. And I think the chances are pretty high that this feature will see the light of day, so this should be coming in the, probably near future. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you found it useful, please like, comment, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Jesus, thanks for watching, see ya. This video is sponsored by Levels.gg, a site that lets you level up your Steam account quickly and easily. Use the referral code Jesus for a 30% bonus to the number of sets you get. Also, I'm giving away this factory new AWP Fever Dream, stickers included. Follow the link in the description to enter. Giveaway ends in 3 days.